Hey friends, and thanks for joining me again. And today I want to talk about fun things to do in the summer that are either free or close to free, or ways that you can afford them if it is something that you really wanted to do. Okay, tip number one on how to have a fun summer on a budget would be to look into specialty programs. This is stuff like that they have through the library, different like clubs and things like that. And all of these places, a lot of them, have cool little programs going on in the summertime. So like our local library has a really neat little program where they have this whole calendar of events where they do things like 3 times a week, and all of the events are free. So they can decorate hats or fanny packs or make like those little bracelets where they have like liquid and you know what I mean, like it sparkles and stuff like that. They have like a Bob Ross painting day where they're gonna watch Bob Ross and paint along with it. A Humane Society day where they're gonna go take a tour of it and then make some toys and things for the animals. Just all kinds of events for the whole entire summer, and every single one of them are free. So definitely look into the different types of specialty programs and different things like that. I mean, sometimes there are the boys and girls clubs and different things. I mean, sometimes they can cost a little bit of money or some money. Sometimes they're free, and so my favorites are definitely the ones that are obviously free from like the library and such. But yeah, definitely look into these kind of specialty programs because they have a wealth of, information and supplies and things like that that you can tap into. And speaking of the library, we have lots of books that they can read from the library, and they even have a cool little summer reading program where my kids win prizes for how many books they read. And so this is another fun thing to do because they'll read books and kind of take up their time doing that, or, different learning games that they offer online. But then they're going to win prizes for stuff like free ice cream and things. So it's kind of a double fun free thing to do. So definitely look into your local library and see if they have anything fun like that too. Free community events. We have a cool little thing kind of in the city center where they have some free concerts and just all sorts of different things. There are parades, just all kinds of things. There are so many different community events that we can go to. And festivals and things, even in the surrounding cities. These can be really fun things to go and do. I would say though, when we do these, we do try to make sure we bring our water and, food so that we don't end up, buying things, because then our free thing can turn into an expensive thing in a hurry if we forget to pack a lunch or some other thing like that, or have to buy $2 a bottle of water. So yeah, definitely look into these kind of cool community events and then really do make them free by bringing like picnic lunch and things like that to make it even more fun and even more free, basically. Speaking of picnics, there are all sorts of parks and things that you can go to. Obviously playgrounds when kids are younger, splash parks and things. Obviously my kids loved those a lot when they were younger. And they can be a good way to beat the heat too. So hiking is always a fun thing to do, especially here in Colorado. We have oodles of trails around that are really fun to do. Picnics, like I mentioned before, you can go on all sorts of different parks and do like fun little picnics, which can also be less mess, especially when the kids are younger, to go ahead and eat outside, because then you don't have to have all that mess to clean up afterward. Bike rides or nature walks, things like this are all free and totally fun and really do make good memories too. The next one would be to make your backyard a fun place to be so that you don't even feel like you have to go anywhere else. And this one is one of my favorites, to be honest with you. We really enjoy having a lot of stuff here to do so that when we have extra time, we can totally just go outside. My kids can play on the trampoline or the zip line or like the swings we have in the trees or things like that. I think I've mentioned this before. This was a goal of mine. It was to make my backyard just really fun. And when they were little, they had like kiddie pools and things, but just making your backyard a fun little sanctuary, or even if it's not kid oriented, just having a fun summer for an adult, you can have a lot of cool stuff to do in your backyard as an adult. So maybe like, a hammock you can hang out in, or just pretty like garden to sit on, a porch swing to hang out on, all kinds of fun things that you can do out there just to enjoy the weather, enjoy the day, and enjoy the fact that it's summer and we can have a nice little, more relaxed schedule for a while. Speaking of backyard, it's always fun to have like friend or family gatherings. And so, throw barbecues or things for your friends or your family, have people over, drink a little beer, whatever it is you like to do, just have people over, and that'll be fun for the kids because they always like to get together with the other kids. And then we adults like to hang out with each other. So yeah, definitely fun family and friend kind of things are always good too. The Dollar Tree is a very inexpensive place to get some cool stuff. They have all kinds of like supplies there that you can do with like science experiments, which can kind of be fun because the kids aren't in school anymore, but also like crafts, even for adults, you know, stuff like that can always be fun. They even have like fun summer toys and pool stuff and whatnot, and so that could be a good resource for places, you know, where you can get things for cheaper to where you can keep everyone occupied and happy without having to spend a ton of money. Camping or fishing is always a fun favorite here, especially where we live. So if you like to go camping, I know there's a lot of gear to have to kind of buy, but a lot of that stuff does show up in the thrift stores. And so you can kind of get some gear that way. And then camping is really not a very expensive, you know, hobby. Once you pay for the spot where you're going to stay and the gas, you know, that's pretty much all there is, you know, expense wise. I mean, obviously there's food, but most of the time we're going to be eating, you know, at home or whatever anyway. So we would be eating either way. It's just food to bring with us, and so that could be kind of fun. You know, and fishing is also another fun thing. I know a lot of kids like to do that, and so that can be another good one too. When it comes to some paid things to do, there are a couple ways that we do try to get this for cheaper. So one would be to get any kind of like coupon or special, you know, a sale, some other kind of thing. I know Elitch's down in Denver has some, you know, sales or have in the past where if you brought like a Pepsi can or whatever, they would give it to you for cheaper. Waterworld just had a cool little like sale where for the first 20 days they were open, it was only $20 a ticket, which was a huge savings compared to the like 28 or something dollars for kids and $35 per ticket for adults. So cutting all that back to just $20 made it way cheaper. And so we actually went last week to Waterworld. It was tons of fun. We really enjoyed doing a lot of the like raft rides and things like that. And so my kids have never done anything like that. We used our side hustle money for that. That was super fun. But yeah, so if you could get any kind of like sale or promotion or some other thing like that to where you could do the expensive theme parks but for cheaper, you know, that kind of takes the place of our summer vacation. So yeah, it was kind of fun, and yeah, they can save a lot of money that way too. Or another way would be to get an unlimited pass. So sometimes you can pay like 2 or 3 times the price of one ticket, but then it's unlimited. You can use it as often as you want. This can save a ton of money. One of my clients that I'm working with right now, I'm trying to sell their home, they said that we've gotten to be good friends here recently, but anyway, so she said that they would buy the unlimited passes for their whole family, and then they would just go to this theme park every single weekend. And so they definitely got their money's worth out of it if they were going every weekend for like the whole summer. So an unlimited pass can, while it looks more expensive up front, can definitely save money in the long run, you know, by utilizing it every time. And then when you break down how much it was, you know, if it was, you know, I think she said it was twice the cost of one ticket, but they went every single week for like, you know, 10 or 12 weeks straight. I mean, they really cut down the cost to where it was very inexpensive, probably around the same cost as just going to a regular pool, but to have gone to Waterworld, you know, every weekend for the whole summer. So yeah, unlimited passes can definitely save a ton of money too. Another option would be to volunteer. This can be a good way to utilize our time and also feel good about ourselves as well. So a quick example of this would be that our family has taken over half of a community garden that's actually at a church just up the road from where we live. They were looking for someone to kind of take over part of that and to grow some things just for charity, and so we went ahead and did that with some of our plant sale leftovers. So we popped a bunch of stuff in there, and now we have to remember to water it and weed it and do some things like that. But with some donated materials, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, and it's going to be kind of a fun thing for us to do. We like gardening anyway, so we're just going to do a bit more of it this year, and then we get to have the satisfaction of knowing that our time has gone to helping people in need. And so yeah, that's a good thing to do too. So there are a lot of different kind of volunteer stuff that you can do and get involved in. And definitely don't overlook this one because it can be a really fun thing to do as well. Another thing would be to take up a new hobby. So this can work for obviously children or adults. So this year we, basically me and my girls, as the 3 of us have decided we're going to take up 2 new hobbies. We are going to learn ukulele and we are going to learn more Spanish. We kind of know a little Spanish, but we're going to learn a little bit more. And really try and apply ourselves to that. So just taking up a new hobby and spending time each day doing that, and then by the end of the summer we can look back and say, wow, you know, look at all this cool new stuff that we have learned. So we'll see how that goes. And then I actually saved my favorite for last, although I think many people may disagree. But my favorite thing to make the summer fun is just to make everyday work fun anyway. Then we don't have to dread going into work and then live for the weekend if we find ways to make the stuff that we're already doing more fun. So whenever we're doing something, even if we're doing something mundane like pulling weeds or mowing the lawn, you can put on music and listen to that and kind of jam out to it and like kind of dance along as you're doing the lawnmower. While you're sitting there pulling weeds, like check out the wildlife, do some bird watching while we're out there, or, look at the little butterflies and just have fun, joke around and just make everyday life fun, because we spend a great deal of our time working anyway. We might as well see what we can do to make that more pleasant and more fun. And so this has really been a huge way that I have found to help enjoy my life in general, is just to be as positive as I can be and just enjoy even the little things, because the little things happen a lot and they can be really fun and enjoyable anyway. So even if we're just making phone calls or showing houses or whatever, it can be kind of fun to meet new people. So just make that really fun. Whatever it is that you do, make it fun and as positive and pleasant of an experience as you can, and then you'll just enjoy the whole week, and then you'll enjoy the weekend when you get to go and have some fun that way too. So hopefully these tips were helpful to you to have a fun and frugal summer, especially if you're doing so on a budget. Hopefully this is helpful to you. We'll see you next time. I'm Frugal Green Girl. Thanks for watching.